If I do, oh, there we go. Okay. And then that. And then that. Okay, that works.
As you can see, it's only the highest of production values here.
Oh yeah, only the top quality production values here at AniFiles. Where
also it's mirrored on the stream.
Oh fuck, that's because yep, it is.
Not a huge deal because like really all we need is just proof that what was drawn is what we said was drawn.
That's the whole reason that we do this, is so that we can just like that prove that the drawing is indeed a random drawing.
All right. The first show is, oh my god, that's loud in my ears. Holy.
Can the audience hear the excellent high production value sound effects?
Yes, they can.
Excellent.
Kakushigoto is our first show. Kakushigoto, comedy slice of life.
That'll be boring. It's the perfect game for a charity show. It is the perfect game for a charity show, which is what they primarily use it for, is Desert Bus for Hope.
Mm-hmm. We've been talking about Desert Bus for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Get back to drawing shows.
I love it. But yeah, okay, so this show is Desert Bus.
You just watch anime in real time with no end in sight.
Oh god. Oh god. No, I need my 1.5 speed VLC playback.
All right, our next show in Group C is Gal and Dino. This is another one that seems kind of interesting to me and probably not for these other two guys. This is a comedy slice of life about a Gyaru and a dinosaur, if I remember correctly.
The Gyaru is named Kaide, so there's a thing. Picks up a dinosaur and begins living with it. The short comedy depicts their daily lives together as the dinosaur consumes human food. I don't know.
All right.
That's the big boss at the end, is a shirtless Vladimir Putin riding a bear.
And like just kind of like slightly stylized to be like it's a Digimon that's like clearly supposed to be that, but it's like somehow, I don't know.
He's drawn like Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist, but without the little hair and the facial hair.
It's like a centaur thing. It's actually not like two different things. Like it's not him riding a bear. It's just a creature that has like a minute worth of popping out the back.
It's like a Vladimir Putin Baratar.
Oh man,
that'd be a better show.
Yep. To rescue books that have been cursed by the taints, an evil force.
I'll tell you something about being cursed by the taints.
Somebody had the localization
Mega City
team.
3.
Oh god.
Mega City 3 is very close to the equator and right off the Gulf. This means that in the summer, it gets hot and humid. It gets very humid. I have never been so cursed by the taints than my first summer in Mega City 3. The amount of gold bond powder that I went through during that first summer, that's how you cure the books that are taints.
The eighth son? Are you kidding me?
The eighth son? Are you kidding me?
Sounds like 90s anime voiceover. That's
like the eighth son. Are you kidding me?
The eighth son. Are you kidding me?
Matching the lip flaps.
The eighth son. Are you kidding me?
Oh, so we're gonna.
Well, if they were matching the lip flaps to Japanese, it would be, I'm I'm the 8th son. You gotta be kidding me.
All right.
How much child support can one take?
Lightning strikes the vase Demetrios is in, transferring him to Tokyo, Japan during the 1964 Summer Olympics. What?
Okay.
That just seems confused.
This is
I
like
need to come
this
up
is
with
like
a thing to do.
an executive at a company somewhere came to a guy and was like, "Look, so I got us a spot on this station to do a short. I need you to come up with a premise." And the guy was like, "Fuck, I've got nothing." And an intern walks past and was like, "Oh, I had this experience on LSD once, and that's the show."
He comes up, he's like, what if we isekai'd somebody to the Olympics? That would be cool. And then the studio exec is like, I love Greeks. Make it Greeks.
Is Origami Ninja Koyen at Kintelli. At Kintelli. All right.
Koyen the origami ninja came to Earth from his planet. Oh, God.
Darmok Angelad at Tanagra.
No. No, he came to Earth from his planet Origamio.
Good name.
To find the magical stone Hapiton that has the ability to make people happy.
Yeah.
There you go. On the way,
The podcast where slowly more and more members are starting to wear hats as our hair gets longer as we're in lockdown and can't get haircuts. I woke up this morning and looked at my hair and thought, yep, guess I'm wearing a hat for a podcast. That's a mess, and I am not going to deal with it.
The obvious solution is to shave it all off. I say that to make myself feel better about the fact that I have to make it look decent.
The male quarantine cut is a thing, and it's an undercut that you shave yourself. Like that's a thing that's happening. And I used to do that in high school, or not high school, in college when I cut my own hair. I just shaved in an undercut, and now everyone's doing it like out of necessity, and it's just, come on, guys.
You're creeping my
Go
style.
behind the curve. I'm fascinated watching people's response to the isolation of this thing. Everyone's gone insane.
Yep.
I love
Libby
it.
dyed her hair blue.
Nice.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
It looks really good.
Exactly what I'm talking about. No, it doesn't necessarily look bad, but under any other circumstance, this wouldn't be happening this way.
No, it would not.
That's what fascinates me about it. Everyone's losing their minds. Men are doing things that they normally wouldn't do. I've been 3D printing 24/7. People are responding to this in insane ways, and I'm fascinated by it. I can't wait to see how much further people go down these rabbit holes they found themselves in.
I've got the bottom right corner crop set up to mirror. Today, Chris is in my spot for I don't fucking know what reason. So, all right.
Did they move things around? Because I'm in the top left, and that never happens.
On your screen or on the stream? Because
In mine. I'm in the right spot on the stream.
Yeah, I don't know. It like
Am I on the bottom right for you?
yes,
Yes.
you're on the bottom right for me.
And is Ryan on the top right?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's showing everyone the same thing now.
Okay.
Oh my god, it is.
That makes this a huge pain in the ass.
Is there a setting somewhere that I can...
Okay, so I'm gonna fix the names first. All right. So, I have caps lock on.
I
But
am,
no, that
I am
makes
in fact
sense.
not Libby, in case
That
anyone
makes
wanted
sense
to
that
know.
I wonder if it's possible to turn off mirroring for yourself.
No, it's not. Trust me, I've tried. All right,
I've
so.
So I would have had to do it over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then.
There you go. Wait, a little.
I think we got it.
Welcome to AniFiles,
Where we are incredibly bored.
Here's how the AniFiles rating system works. Our hosts and guests have watched the first episode of the shows we're talking about today. Based on only that first episode, we'll answer 5 yes or no questions. Did the premise interest you? Did the production impress you? Did the storytelling impress you? Did you enjoy the first episode? Did the first episode make you
honest to goodness published in a like monthly magazine mangaka, or you do ecchi, and it's pretty rare that the two cross.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I remember it was actually like really notable that the author for the illustrator for Shokugeki no Soma used to do ecchi. And so that was a thing that people like called out is Shokugeki.
Are you saying he still doesn't?
That actually would be a skill set that I think would translate, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because Shokugeki no Soma, how Aigao do the foodgasms get in Shokugeki no Soma?
Pretty damn, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's tentacles involved.
Well, there you go. That's who you need on that project.
Either
It was a
way,
cargo ship.
It was a cargo ship.
That's right. Yeah.
With a
So
very
they find them.
upset
And,
captain. Like, the look on the captain's face made me laugh, and I don't think it was supposed to.
I don't know if he was
He just
upset
looked
so
like
much as just like
angry.
he was just like old grizzled sea captain.
I think that it's possible that old white American just looks like anger
to everyone,
like
including
Japanese animators, or maybe even the rest of the world.
to us in America.
To everyone.
The one kid like is kind of like exploring their tech and kind of engaging with their engineers about like how cool stuff is, and the samurai guy is trying to do his part and like help to swap the deck, and thanks for letting them on, and he's like, why don't you work too? And the kid's like, I don't conform to your expectations, and then they
might have been an expression, like a kind of an expression.
It looked
but
like it was like some sort of theater makeup or something like that, like kind of just like the first part of like an oni paint or
Oh
something
my
like
god!
I think he just drank too much fruit punch. I think that's what it was.
that. He just got like
that
really
makes
like
perfect
chapped
sense.
lips.
This
right
entire thing is the fantasy of a theater door. That
all makes
sense.
But yeah, like I'm not sure if it's like if
that's how he was able to calculate their position in the ocean based on their initial
the current
velocity
and the initial speed and the stars.
Oh god! It was that hangover moment where all of the equations and shit are just floating around.
Math.
I wanted to clip that and turn it into a GIF just so I could have that reaction for thinking with just the graphs and charts and.
All right, for me, I put it on episode 1. Pull the lever, Kronk.
Oh god, yes.
Why do we even have that lever?
Yes.
Much later in the episode, they're camping and the dogs like just appear out of nowhere and drag him off.
No, the dogs to me were the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They amused the hell out of me. I enjoyed the dogs.
Yeah.
I thought the dog stuff was funny up until my phone was trying to break and I was overcome with terror and fear.
I like the idea now that like Dean's review is going to incorporate his phone being broken. It's like, and then the part where my phone broke, I really didn't like that part. So it's straight zeros.
While I was waiting to sideload, while I was trying to sideload the ROM, and I was watching the progress bar go, I looked up and I saw the chick's unnecessarily large tits, and I paused it and I looked over at Rachel and I went, look at those unnecessary tits. And then I kept trying to save my phone after that.
You got the important parts, yeah.
All right, for me, Princess Connect, episode 1. I forgot to come up with the title for this.
Just say reflashing your phone.
Princess Connect, episode 1. Doing mushrooms with strangers.
There you go.
Don't put it in your mouth if you don't know what it is.
That's what she said.
E.
Did the premise interest me?
I don't like sports or stupid fake cute things. No. I was angry when I was writing. I legitimately disliked this show. And do I want to see more? No. So 0. That's it for my tirade.
Tomoyomi, the Baseball Girls, episode 1. Catcher. Well, I do know her.
Oh God.
They just kind of like skip the battle and cut right to her being like, ah! As she's been defeated, and she collapses to the ground, and he's like, and he leaves. And so, and he took her phone because whoever loses this has to give up their phone for reasons.
Yeah, that was the challenge.
I guess you just like recycle it for cash. Is that what the plan is? I don't know.
Sure would be a shame if my parents found out that I gave my phone away because I lost a card game, and they went to your parents and threatened legal action if you didn't return it.
Yes, and so, a shame.
She also is very afraid of bugs. She constantly comes across wharf roaches and stuff like that, and
that I could only identify because of Animal Crossing.
Same.
The characters here are really, really good, and I actually enjoyed the hell out of this. And I thought about watching more of it, but there was another show that I liked more that I watched more of instead.
There were actually a couple of these shows that I liked more.
I feel like the odd man out here. I mean, maybe the bar's just really low for you guys. I don't know like what other enemies you guys have watched. I was bored out of my mind watching this.
It's a bit soft. It's not like an amazing. It's no Maidens in Your Savage Season. It's not
Maidens in
at
Your
that level.
Savage Season.
Oh, Maidens in Your Savage Season.
I know it's been like 3 seasons or whatever, but
the rules are the rules.
The rules are the rules.
The rules are the rules. You're right. I failed.
Oh, shall we get into ratings for this?
Sounds good.
Dean.
Okay, so this thing is gonna get 0s across the fucking board. It didn't even look good. The monster design's bad. Like it's bad. Not only is it boring. Like, okay, we have a werewolf dude and a little slime, but we also have monster design that's terrible in that it's. So wait, you just throw goo at its. Who would know that? And why? And why would you even try it? That's nonsense. And
I bet that's not even a mechanic in the game.
God.
Right.
No, this show has brought out such anger.
I hate it. Okay, so
This is a show about a poet who gets blood on his shirt, so he decides, I'm going to be a detective instead. And so he walks into a brothel, and we find out he's a peeping Tom. And he watches a whole bunch of people fuck before being like, oh yes, here's the murder that I knew happened because of blood.
This takes place, I think they said, 40 years after Westernization? Or after
it's the Meiji era, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be 1920 or so? I'm trying to think.
That feels a little late.
Exactly. That is late. I can't remember. Let me pull up the actual year that Japan was forced to open. Oh my god. If you search Japan forced to open, all you get is porn.
Oh no. There's like a little confrontation where the mayor comes in and is kind of saying like, oh, you players do nothing but bring calamity. You need to get out of this town at once. And she's like, fuck you, man. And our MC stands up to the mayor for her. And that's kind of a big moment, apparently. And then they're talking back and forth. But I was like, don't you want to leave this place and live your own life? He's like, no, I'm good. And she's like, well, that's not very punk rock of you. And so...
Yeah, we can go ahead and get into ratings. Chris.
All right, listeners, episode 1, they who have earless, let them hear less.
God damn it.
Because there's like religious symbology and stuff too. So
Svi.
Listeners, episode 1, that's not an audio jack.
To be honest, I was kind of excited to hear what you might say about some of that.
In watching it, I was able to recognize that like middle school emo me would have 100% love this show. Like relationships are an illusion. Like that totally like I would have
absolutely.
I would have drank the Kool-Aid like so hard for this show. But sort of now, as ironically as an adult, I'm like so exhausted of the typical depressed male media. This guy being self-deprecating and being like, I'm a loser and like I do this and like I work at a shit store and my life is shit and like I went to college and now there's this like quirky young girl who's like she has like a crow and that's kind of weird but they're also kind of cute. Like just like shut the fuck up.
She's got a crush on me.
Like I just
God damn it.
Yeah, that's the episode title.
Everything.
Yeah. Round 1, match number 2, we have Woodpecker Detective's Office versus Listeners. Which would you rather watch?
Listeners.
This is hard, actually. Sorry to take so long.
It's all good.
I know how much this decision weighs.
It really does.
And I want to really be discerning.
And our final matchup of the day, Sing Yesterday for Me versus Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater.
Yesterday.
Fuck, do I want to be bored or depressed?
Depressed is always the answer.
Oh, okay, so yesterday.
Yeah, to be fair, depressed is an emotion. If you want to feel anything.
We're basically going through it episode by episode. Him having seen it countless times and me seeing it for the first time. So I'm sort of bringing a similar perspective to what I bring to this podcast, where I sort of don't have my bar's not on the floor because I'm like this needs to live up to some scrutiny. So
I have a modicum of self-respect.
Exactly.
All right, AniFiles cast members, let's say our catchphrase. In the end, nobody cared what I said.
That does change my perspective on it a little bit. I was kind of going into it not expecting ecchi, and so what I was expecting was kind of like straightforward hero show or whatever with elements of that kind of were a little bit annoying to me anyway, or like not annoying, just it felt unnecessary. But then knowing that it's just meant to be an ecchi with some edge and edgy.
Hey.
That's not gonna catch on.
Yeah, this show is real fucking good. Like I was enjoying it, and then the scene at the end happens where she literally takes an axe and chops down his door, and is like, "Oh, a human doing human things to like try to prevent this bad outcome for herself, but also because she cares about this person."
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, is that believable character writing in my Christian anime?
I liked that it was very different from all isekai that I've watched previously, which is you are the boy of destiny, and you are going to go do boy things, and also here are some women to flirt with, and also go do boy things and be the boy of destiny.
Yeah, I agree. That was one of the things that got me most excited about this show when we were talking about it during our planning episode. Yeah, she's not a boy, not doing boy things, and the villainess. Just give me more. Give me more.
Then it was like a thick stack of paper, and then it was just a book. It was...
At one point, it's like a scroll, like they
right, just woefully inconsistent.
I think the most jarring one is when it was the stone tablets.
But I think when it was the stone tablets, it was calling to the overarching Prism universe. So.
Oh, son of a! I have to fit this into the Prism universe. I didn't give that any thought. Oh boy. All right. Well, no, they're not Spotlight Prism shows.
This is like this is the third age, where like the age of men, like magic has faded from the world and all that different stuff. The elves have gone off to the west. So after the events of the Prism show we watched, where the Prism gods left, but then the spirit of Prism indwelled all of us, and that's how we restored the power of Prism. This is just the extension of that millennia. Hence.
Thank you, Chris, fucking saving me as I was struggling to do that. All right, so there you go. That's how Argo Navis from Bang Dream fits into the greater Prism universe. All right, the last show we have to talk about is BNA, or Brand New Animal. Chris.
This is a trigger show, my dudes.
Yeah. Did the premise interest you? Trigger.
Yes.
All right, and for me, BNA episode 1, an explosive welcoming party. Did the premise interest me? Trigger. Did the production impress me? Trigger. Did the storytelling impress me? Trigger. Did I enjoy the first episode? Trigger. And am I interested to see more? Trigger. A 5 for me as well.
Straight trigger.
Straight trigger. First show we have to talk about is The Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited, which is a show about a guy who lives in a world where the government has never heard of, like, review boards for police officers. They just literally can do what the fuck ever they want with no repercussions. So it's nice to know that we're
a lot like this world.
Pretty much.
Is this political talk in my anime podcast?
Right?
To turn this into an economics podcast, most billionaires don't actually have, like, billions in the bank. They have stocks.
It's all held in assets, mostly non-liquid shit.
Yeah,
So they couldn't go around spending, like, tens of millions of dollars in a day like this boy can, who we're led to believe his actual bank account is unlimited. So he is, like, far and away the most wealthy person on the planet.
My theory is that he's actually like not spending money. He's just like dispelling the illusion of currency.
Yeah.
So he's just like, currency is just something that we all believe in anyway, right? So I'm just going to tell you that I've got this money even though I don't.
My theory is his last name is Rothschild.
And then another fourth grade. I don't know if he's like in fifth grade or also in fourth grade. Knocks on his door, and I don't know what this kid's objective is. Because he introduces himself, but then like the conversation gets taken off the rails. I was almost wondering if he's like either like selling like Boy Scout popcorn for the American equivalent, or like he's gonna like do some sort of like weird like, hey, do you have a moment to like talk about our Lord and Savior, the internet?
Always, I always want to talk about our Lord and Savior.
Also, to follow up on the thing I was talking about, the homunculus, if you search for sensory homunculus or cortical homunculus, I think there's also like, there's a difference between sensory and motor. They look like similar but different. You get this like really weird, kind of like very large hands, really big lips and nose and eyes and ears, but like, smaller body. And it kind of, there's a concept behind it that has to do with like, again, like sensory stuff and how the brain processes things.
Oh, that's cool as hell. I'm looking at the sensory homunculus thing, and oh my god, that is a really good creature design.
Yeah, that's weird.
I like that a lot. His dick isn't big enough.
Oh, yeah.
Dean, will you tell us about our next show, Bungo and Alchemist, Gears of Judgment?
Okay.
Sorry, I had to expel that demon that is
the
this show from
involuntary
my
response.
body. All right. The Eighth Son. Are you kidding me? Episode 1. Are you kidding me? Straight fucking zeros. No, stop immediately. What is this bullshit? Justin?
You know what? I can't give it straight zeros because I actually watched another episode.
Did you really?
I think it was an accident. I didn't realize the first episode.
I just wanted to
You know-
realize this was happening.
And it just kind of transitions. So I was like, oh,
Like,
okay.
Chris?
All right, The Eighth Son. Are you kidding me? Episode 1. I'm just a poor isekai protagonist from a poor famagonist.
Oh my god.
Did the premise interest me?
Galileo.
Did the premise interest
Galileo,
me?
here's a map.
And then our giant hunter lizard man appears, and there's going to be a fight next episode implicitly. And yeah, that's the first
There's
episode. How we're
gonna be a murder.
I'm thinking of what was it, Boondock Saints maybe, where it's like it was a gunfight.
It was a firefight.
Yeah.
My notes on this, to your point, actually, Ixie, my notes on this are what's going on. This looks awesome, but I have no idea what's happening. And the final note is, never mind, that's cool as balls. Like, it exists specifically so that they can have multiple transformation sequences with these robots.
That's definitely it. Like that and like, you know, you mentioned like they fight with the wheels, like they take the steering wheels out of the cars and like they transform into like a sword and a gun respectively.
Oh, that gets sold. You know that gets sold. You know there's a big
oh no, absolutely.
You
Also,
know there's a big foam steering wheel sword
other-
on a shelf somewhere in Japan.
no, the other thing that gets sold too is the like the little like wrist thing that they have with like the wheel on it. It's like, we gotta spin up
wheel
Earth power, and he's
spins.
like but no, this is clearly like so that kids can get hyped and then go buy the toy and then like
That's
do all the moves
absolutely a
themselves.
toy.
Yep.
A big dumb wrist thing with a spinning wheel, functional spinning wheel, and a little like knife switch on it. That is absolutely a thing. Gonna have like you have to know these things to drive at these speeds, and these children are going to die. This
Oh,
is,
and they say on multiple occasions they're so excited they could wet themselves. And then the narrator would come in and say, "Now's not the time, child."
which implies there is a time.
Yeah, right.
It implies that the narrator at the
that there
very
is a
least
time that would be
believes there's a time
appropriate
for
to
these
let
children to
yourself.
piss themselves. I hate this.
We get a cute archer elf character who turns and just her titties are flapping in the breeze. Just the most ridiculous bullshit titty bounce I have ever seen. Like,
It's very much the High School of the Dead boob shot animation, but it's just because she turned and they just like start flopping opposite one another.
yep. It's straight zeros. Fuck this shit. This was garbage. Chris?
Sheer Neko Project Zero Chronicle Episode 1. Okay, but like, is this just the mental landscape of a couple of cats, or he kind of came from nothing and became a fairly respectable artist, and so he's kind of proud of that.
Started from the bottom,
And now he's there.
now he here.
Yeah. Yeah, he here, he not quite there yet, but he here.
No, he here. But he started from the bottom. So, you know,
It's true,
proportionally, that's a pretty good
Yeah,
upgrade.
it's a step up, yeah.
Chris, what are your ratings for this show?
Arte, Episode 1, the inspiring true story of the first female artist. It's not. Did the premise interest me?
The first ever.
The first ever.
They have kind of voiced eating in this. There's one part where he's eating, but he doesn't even commit. He just makes kind of the sound while he's eating, which is not like he didn't even try.
He's tisking at the food quality. He's disappointed in it. It's like he took a bite. She's like,
It's like if you're gonna try to trigger me, at least do it properly. Fucking zeros. Oh, this was
Vanguard Gaiden If versus Tower of God. Which would you rather watch?
Tower of God.
Tower of God.
Same. 3-0 in favor of Tower of God. Round 1, matchup number 2, we have Tomika Kizuna Gatai Earth Graner versus Wave Listen to Me. 3-0 in favor of Wave Listen to Me. Just to confirm, that is the answer, right?
No, that's it. That's
Yes.
correct.
Well, our worst anime of the season, calling it now. I'd like basically guaranteed to win. With a perfect 05 card fight, Vanguard Gaiden If. Actually advancing in the losers bracket. We will have to play out the tournament, but I'll be damned if there's anything worse than this season. Holy crap. All right, AniFiles cast members. Let's say our catchphrase. Bushiroad.
So I have to, like, that's why that's turned off. Let's fix that, and it's done, and now we can do the thing. Is it fixed?
Nope.
No.
Oh my god.
All right.
Speaking behind the curtain, dear listeners,
I
this is
got
actually
it. I got it. I just turned on the wrong one. Here we go. Now it's
I hear
fixed.
myself,
And
here's how the AniFiles rating system works. Our hosts and guests have watched the first episode of the shows we're talking about today. Based on only that first episode, we'll answer 5 yes or no questions.
shit makes me want to suck start a 12 gauge. God damn it. It's fucking terrible.
I think we're coming through your speakers, Dean.
Yep. Yep. We're doubled. We're
Oh,
doubled.
you are now. God damn it. Okay. Now it's fixed.
Is it?
Hello?
It seems
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, I was like, going for the echoing thing. I hate it.
This is
I
actually
hate
all just a planned comedy filler because it's
Yeah,
going to be a very
right.
short episode.
Yeah, it's a bit. I'm just going to claim it's a bit and that I'm not an idiot.
And the opening line of the OP, the very first line of the show, it would seem 30 centimeters of unrequited love would reach, but it doesn't. So this is a show about high school size queens.
Yeah.
What is this show actually about? I have no fucking idea. The show is 2 minutes and it was incomprehensible. There was a girl at school. Girls try to get into school. Girls have to score girl points and they sing. I don't
That's it. No, that
fucking
is a
know.
perfect synopsis of what happened.
Yeah. Don't
This
need
was
to
a-
explain it anymore.
This was a fucking train wreck.
in the show. Like it happens diegetically in the show. And
Yeah.
And then he says, the old man always teases the old lady. And we cut to credits.
It was great. It was a single joke, and that was it. And it wasn't a funny joke,
It wasn't.
but I laughed when the credits rolled because that's all that this show was.
Yeah.
All right, shall we get on to ratings?
Sounds good.
Chris, how do you rate
Come on
the
to-
show?
Yes. Kamata Ji-san, episode 1, My Doki Doki Retirement.
So I want to know what Libby and Chris watched.
So I
what did you
think-
guys see?
So what we saw was labeled as episode 1, which is why I'm confused. But what you guys describe, I'm looking at like the list of episodes according to the fandom site, which apparently there is one.
What?
But but the first episode says
Why?
Pride and Zorori Castle, which sounds like what you guys were describing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Episode 2 is labeled as Zorori versus the Hot-Blooded Beat, which sounds like maybe what we saw, just based on the title.
Yeah.
Was your episode better?
No. Because apparently this is like the third adaptation of the source material. So clearly it's been
What?
around long enough to have been adapted several times. So I guess it's just kind of like, here's like Zorro for children, with like this kind of cool, fun, plucky animal character.
Zorro for children is Zorro.
They didn't need a childrenized version.
Like the old Zorro show was on Nick at Night. I watched that shit when I was a child. Like that's a what? This is a franchise that has weight? It's terrible.
That's how you visualize odor, I guess.
Zero has a point. Zero says,
but no one reacts to the odor of the fart.
Somebody said something that made me have it. The dietary. You were concerned about the dietary issues with the thing. Okay, all we've seen him eat is 1/3 of a baked yam.
True.
That's all he's eaten in canon. That's all he's eaten. No, that's a lie. He ate the steamed buns. He ate a shitload of steamed buns. He was distracted by the food.
He'll do that to you.
It's the same guy who was distracted by the food when he snuck into the museum disguised as a mover.
Dean, what I'm hearing is you are what you eat. Giggity.
That is so fucking cool. Like I have the biggest nostalgia boner right now. Like I fucking love Sonic X.
All right, AniFiles cast members. Let's say our catchphrase. You are Hellenes, a citizen of Greece.
Flawless.
Impeccable.
Perfect.
As always. What was the worst anime of the season and the best anime of the season? We're about to educate you.
In a manner, yes.
Are we? Or are we just hurting ourselves?
What did we think was the show that we wanted to watch and the shows that we didn't want to watch? And that our taste defines what your taste should be. Because that's how this works.
There, yes. I agree with that. That's the perfect distillation of everything this is about.
That is an untrue statement. Just to be
telling you that your taste is shit.
4 seed Group F. Moto Majime ni Fumajime Kankatsu Zorori. The 3 seed Group E. Card Fight Vanguard Gated If. The 2 seed Group B, Shashimato, President, it's time for battle. And the 1 seed Group A, Shadowverse. Unfortunately for our hosts, it's time for the tournament to begin.
I think I could get drunk and laugh at Card Fight, which is terrible because the one that I couldn't do that. God damn it! The one that I couldn't do that with has now moved on.
See, I could get drunk and depressed and tolerate Shachibato and just be like, "It's fucking this bullshit again."
Just zone out, become one with the void for 6 hours.
But no matter how many alcohols I consume or whatever I could possibly do to myself, I will always be furious at Card Fight.
That's fair.
And within the next 2 seasons, we're all going to be watching the loser with a heroin needle hanging out. I'm just like, please take me away from here.
It's gonna be like Clockwork Orange at some point. Like they were just like, we're gonna be strapped down, eyes pried open. Someone's like dripping eye drops in there.
Yeah, fucking. I really don't know where to go from here. I hate both of these. I fucking hate both of them.
Why don't you understand that anime belongs in the trash?
No, we do.
If anyone
Okay, fuck.
understands that anime belongs in the trash, I think it's us.
Group C, B, and A. The 7th seed, Group E, Arte. The 6th seed from Group D, Digimon Adventure : The 5th seed, Group C, My Next Life is a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. The 4th seed, Group B, Sing Yesterday for Me. The 3 seed, Group F, Besatsu Olympia Miklos. The 2 seed, Group A, Kakushigoto. And the 1 seed from Group E, Wave, Listen to Me. Now, without further ado, it's time to kick things off.
Now that you've seen the shows,
Seeing her grab the mic like that just makes me like,
Don't do that here on the radio.
please. I think these are my 2 favorite from the season.
I'm really not. Oh, this is a tough one. Like, I want to watch them for like different reasons.
I know, me too. And it's hard because I can't judge it based on the fact that I've watched more of Sing Yesterday, because I was doing that before I had my summer class, which has eaten up like a shitload of my time. So, like, I probably would have watched more of Wave if I had time right now. I just don't know. Fuck. Can I give it a tie?
no.
Nope.
This is a tournament episode, which means we don't have a catchphrase, which means I just have to awkwardly end the podcast.
You don't have to do
Let's
it.
do our
awkwardly.
best together.
Let's do our best together. Welcome to AniFiles episode 99. Just one disappointing episode, and then episode 100, which will also be disappointing because it's AniFiles, but we can pretend.
Imagine AniFiles being good.
Maintain low expectations, and you'll never be disappointed.
It makes it very clear to the viewer that her fate is not locked in, but she still thinks that it is. It's kind of fun that she's as dense as any generic male harem protagonist. She's kind of hilarious until it's not.
I think of all those ones I watched, Unlimited Blade Works was very, very good. The UFO table one. Fate Zero was also very, very good. I actually think that if I had to pick a favorite, probably Fate Zero. Because it's got I think a little more depth to its story than some of the other ones did. It's very great.
I actually don't know if this auto tune is on. Whoa, wow. Inertia was way too hot. Never mind, fuck this. I stopped showing its tracks for nothing.
Like paint apps or something like that.
If it worked, though, it would have been a fucking fire bit.
I know!
All I know, after watching this show, the thing that has affected me the most, and the thing that sticks in my mind the most, is that all of my favorite light novel characters are coming to a card fight in Schwarzweiss, and it's from Bushy Road. That's all I remember.
Actually, it was funny because I missed that the first time, but then when I went back to watch it,
light novel characters are coming to card fight in Schwarzweiss.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's actually kind of.
Road.
This means I have to end the podcast. But it's not a normal episode of the podcast, so we don't have an AniFiles catchphrase.
We do
have our
which means that I kind of just talk until we peter out awkwardly. So
Let's do our best together.
let's
all
do our best together.
he goes on a date with his crush from work, who the girl in his body set up for him as him. But then he goes on the date as himself in his own body and screws it up. But because he just kind of realizes that he might actually be into this girl who's in his body all the time. And so he goes to try to meet her along with said date and another friend of theirs. Imagine going on a date as yourself, right?
Yeah, right. No, pretend to be a way better version of you. Always.
Always. AniFiles dating advice segment. And he musters up the courage to be like, "Excuse me, do I know you from somewhere?" And she's like, "Hey, funny thing, I thought so too." And then that's the ending of it.
They're both crying uncontrollably as they say this because there's something in them that knows that they know and love each other, but they don't know each other for real. But there's a piece of their soul that remembers, and it's fucking.
Naturally, I'm glossing over a lot of details, but yeah, that's kind of the gist. So
there were so many fucking feels, dude. Like this, like it's god damn it.
It's real good.
It's good. She discovers there's this website on this newfangled thing called the internet.
Yeah, she has to like have one of her managers like come in and like set her up and like teach her how to use a computer. And, like,
it's been a long time since I've seen a movie where someone had to explain what the internet was. But like, it makes sense. It's 97. Like, yeah, you probably should have someone in your show or in your movie go, well, the internet is a network of computers and you access it by clicking on this little icon here. And then you go to a web address, which is like a real life address, but it's an address on the network of computers that he saw Shirai, cinematographer on Ghost in the Shell. So there you go. Like, and on Neon Genesis Evangelion, the end of Evangelion, and on God, a lot. Let's go down a little lower. Ghost in the Shell, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Perfect Blue, Vampire Princess Miru, a bunch of Pokemon stuff. Lupin the Third, Missed by $1. Oh My Goddess, the movie. So yeah, I would definitely be interested to see some of the stuff that this the Pokemon TV series. Like what? Yes. Everything looks good. Pokemon the first movie. Cinematographer on Pokemon the first movie.
If you like Pokemon, you might also like Perfect Blue. So, Perfect Blue, a cautionary tale about the dangers of switching careers.
It was him the whole time, but everything you saw happened. It was just not the way you thought it happened. In this, it's like, did everything I see happen, or am I imagining things? Like,
none of it happened, Dean, because it's an animated film.
Yes, that is true.
We start with Araragi walking up a whole bunch of stairs, and it's done in Chef's usual style, which is to say it's fucking beautiful and everything is weird.
Yep. It's gorgeous and strange. Shaft. Because Hitagi, I think, sees the crab at the end of that arc, right?
Yes.
When she finally believes it's real.
Crabs aren't real.
True. Mythical creatures. Never seen one.
Yes. No. All I know is they're fictional, and fictional crabs like to go to raves.
He catches Hitagi, realizes she's light, and there's a supernatural thing going on here. Pursues her. She staples his lip. He pulls it out and says, I'm fine, fuck you.
Yeah.
Let me get involved in this. Like, yeah.
Tell me more about what Hitagi does, because... but slower.
Season was won by Adam, and he already picked, and I have forgotten.
It's going to be a tub thumping with Rising of the Shield Hero, which
That's right.
Since you're in chat, Invarial, I wanted to just call you out here. You said you were going to make it easy on me, and yet you have forced me to do a thing where every time he says I get knocked down, I need to pick a different clip of him getting knocked down, whether literally or metaphorically, and then get back up again. It's going to be him getting back up, and then you're never going to bring me down as like, you know, like fighting or something. And it's going to be a different one for every single time they say that, and they say that a lot. So I both love the idea and hate you. No, I'm kidding. But well,
And a different clip of him getting back up again. Yep. Oh my god. I love that Invarial just like snuck in torture in his pick.
It's a very invariable thing to do.
It really is.